Howdy folks, today I'd like to take a casual peek into the Amazing Spider-Man series Hobgoblin action figure by Toy Biz. This figure set was originally released in 2006, but I just bought this figure set recently. I was on my way home from work and I decided to drop by the Rite Aid to get some ice cream for me and the Munchkins because it's getting pretty warm out here. And whenever I go to Rite Aid or any of these pharmacy type stores, I usually drop by the toy aisle, mainly because they have some interesting toys that are no longer produced. I think a lot of people overlook these pharmacy stores when looking for action figures. And one of the action figures was the Hobgoblin here, and I was quite surprised to see it because this is a pretty, not really old figure, but it's still an older figure that's no longer on the shelves. And you could tell right away that this figure was sitting there for quite a while. You can't see it in the video, but the plastic packaging on here is no longer clear. It's actually got that yellowish tint to it. Usually when the figure is out for a while, the packaging tends to yellow. It doesn't show up in the video here though. Also, the peg hook here is just completely shorn off here, and it looks like a Rite Aid employee just simply punched a hole through this to hang it off the peg. So, and not to mention some crushing here. So, but I believe this figure actually has probably been hanging off of the Rite Aid pegs for at least 3 or 4 years. So, kind of interesting. And I paid $12.99 for this figure set. Taking a look at the back of the package here, you can see a description of Spider-Man, not the Hobgoblin there. And also a set of images to show you how to use the glider and the puff of smoke, which is free rolling. Also, you could take a look here, the other figures from the Amazing Spider-Man line. We have Shoot and Spin Spider-Man, Spider-Hulk Spider-Man, Web Splasher Spider-Man, and Hydro Man. And you can see here that the Rite Aid employee looks like he tried to put the peg hook replacement on here, but he put it in the wrong place. So I don't know why it's over here. Anyways, let's go ahead and take this guy out of the package and we'll be right back. Okie dokes, we have the Hobgoblin out of the package, and he came with a couple accessories. First thing we'll take a look at though is a subscription application for Marvel Adventures Spider-Man on here, which is kind of neat. I don't know if this is, nope, it's expired in 2007 there. And there's the address if you still want to contact him. Next thing we'll take a look at here is the Hobgoblin on his glider here. We'll take a look at the glider first because it's kind of neat. It just rolls freely here. Actually, it's the glider that sits on top of the wafts of smoke here, and you just roll it along. It doesn't roll very well on this fabric here though. So, but pretty neat. And let me just get the figure here off of the glider so I can show you the glider a little bit. There we go. And you can see the glider here. It's kind of neat. And you can remove it from this smoke here. It just attaches to 2 pegs here. And this is actually a pretty neat piece of accessory here. It's made of a softer plastic on the surface here, but on the bottom it's hard plastic with the free rolling wheels there. It's pretty neat on there. Here's the glider, and you just hook the feet of the Hobgoblin into these slots here. It just takes a little bit of work because the way the Hobgoblin's boots are sculpted, you have to hook it in around the loop here. Pretty neat, and it also comes with a little exhaust thing here. It's just kind of cool on there. It's an exhaust effect. And I like the painting around the exhaust port there. Kind of cool on there. But that's the glider there. And it's got these horns too, which is rather nice. Whoops. There we go. Pretty cool. Now on to the Hobgoblin figure, which is actually very nice. Surprised at the level of detail this guy has. Taking a look, just look at the head sculpt. It's very finely sculpted and very well painted too on the teeth and the eyes. Very nice. I really like this head sculpt. I like the ridges around the eyes. It's very, very menacing looking. It's very well done. I like it. And the hood here, it's got the hoodie, the orange. It's made of softer plastic on here. And you can see here the scale mail armor he wears. Very nice. Also along the legs here. And he's got his messenger bag here, nicely detailed. I wish there were pegs here, so you could actually rotate this bag along the strap here, but unfortunately it's just sculpted in on there. And it's loose on here. If you worked at it, you could probably remove the bag altogether, but I'm just leaving it on there. And you see the details of the bag. It looks like a leather type quality to it. Very nice. I like it. You can see the pumpkin bomb here. It's kind of cool. It's in his hand here, but it's glued into his hand, so you can't remove it. It would have been nice if it was like a peg into the peg hole, but it's kind of interesting because they added the finger articulation to this hand, but since it's glued on to the pumpkin bomb is glued onto the hand, not much use for this articulation of the fingers here. So, but that's just an interesting thing to note. And you got the cape here. It's a nice soft rubbery cape, which is kind of cool. And the hood on the head is independent of the cape, so you can still pose the head, which is nice on there. One thing I was kind of surprised about is that this figure is actually rather tall compared to the Marvel Legends. A lot taller than the standard Marvel Legend figure, like say the Bullseye. I always use that guy because he seems to be an average sized Marvel Legend. Right here, you can see he towers over him quite a bit. So I was quite surprised to see how large this guy is. So, but going over the articulation, the head goes all the way around and does go up and down. It has a hinge joint on the neck, which is kind of neat on there. So you can actually pose him quite a few poses on there. The arms can go all the way around. They do go out and in. The biceps rotate all the way around. The elbows have double joints, which is nice. The glove rotates all the way around on here. And the hands bend up and down. They don't rotate mainly because of the rotation on the glove. And as I said earlier, there's finger articulation. All the fingers are single mold on there. The torso on this figure goes down and slightly up. Would have been nicer if it was bent back a lot further, especially with the glider. The waist rotates all the way around below the belt, which is interesting. And the legs are on a ball hinge swivel joint, so you can go up, back, out to the side, and rotate at the upper thigh here. This one's a little stiff. The knees are double jointed, which is excellent, especially for the glider. And the boot rotates at the top of the boot. The feet are in a hinge joint, so it goes up and down. It also has ankle pivot here, and also the feet, or the toes, bend up and down on these little pixie boot type thing there. Overall, it's a very nice figure, and I think it's a nice little treasure find. I was able to find this at Rite Aid. If You may want to scour your pharmacy stores to see if they have a similar figure over here. So, but whoops. Thanks for watching. This is my casual peek into the Amazing Spider-Man series Hobgoblin, and I'll see you guys next time.